again political flutters once again after Rahul Gandhi, in an editorial in a newspaper, alleged rigging as far as the Maharashtra election is concerned. He also tweeted his editorial in the Indian Express newspaper, where he's in fact pointed out, as per Rahul Gandhi's allegation, a step-by-step entire model of what he thinks how the match or the election of Maharashtra was in fact stolen from the opposition. Remember, the opposition suffered a humiliating defeat in the last recently held Maharashtra elections, and since then there have been these murmurs in the Congress party about a large-scale rigging of that election, which Rahul Gandhi has once again put forward. Now, the Election Commission hit back at Rahul Gandhi and said that the match-fixing charge is absurd. The poll body also said none of the poll booth workers of the Congress party raised any objections of large scale when the process was on or even after the process. They also said that what Rahul Gandhi is saying will demoralize the election machinery and the workers, those who work for free and fair election. Now, Rahul Gandhi has also said that this entire the entire blueprint, what he calls, of Maharashtra could be repeated in Bihar as well, and cautioned the party workers. Now, this has ensued a bitter political war of words between the Congress and the BJP. Let me very quickly at this.
उनकी जीत हासिल होती है उनको, तब ईवीएम भी अच्छा होता है, चुनाव आयोग भी अच्छा होता है, सब अच्छे होते हैं। जैसे कि कई राज्यों में उनके सरकार आ गई, वहां पर क्या मैच फिक्सिंग थी? अभी 21 राज्यों में 22 राज्यों में भारतीय जनता पार्टी एनडीए की सरकार है, और सभी जगह मैच फिक्सिंग हुई है क्या? ये जनता ने दिया हुआ मैंडेट है, उसे स्वीकार करना चाहिए। और मैं इतना ही कहूंगा कि आज विदेश में जाकर भी राहुल गांधी हमारे देश की बदनामी करते हैं।
We're seeing a lot of reactions coming in from across the country, but most important reaction is from Maharashtra, wherein our Chief Minister Fadnavis spoke about how this is an insult to the people's mandate, which was given 6 months ago. How do you read into that criticism?
First of all, I don't think it's an earthquake, because this is precisely what Rahulji spoke in the Lok Sabha as the leader of opposition. He has articulated this point of view many times in public meetings. Even while abroad, when people asked him about Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha election, he has made these points. So there is nothing new. You not followed it, that's a different matter. But yes, it is a all India level in multiple languages. The article has appeared. So the issue which has sort of been forgotten after the 24 Lok Sabha election has been resurrected. See, we have said on a multiple occasion that this Vidhan Sabha election was stolen from us. Do you think Election Commission will come out and say that no, our process is completely fraudulent and we are cheated and we are supported BJP? How can they say that? They have to say that our process is transparent. What else will they say? But then why did you change the law to select the election commissioner?
Let me first bring in my colleagues, those who are joining me at this moment. Prabhakar joins me from Patna because, of course, this is what Rahul Gandhi is saying, that the Congress party and its workers, the voters of Bihar will have to be careful, citing the example of Maharashtra. And Anuj is joining us from Mumbai at this moment. First, let me come to you, Anuj. The Congress party is doing now a protest on June 12th. Isn't it too late? Suddenly, the Congress party has woken up to the protest as far as the government formation is concerned. There were murmurs all around. If the Congress was so convinced, then shouldn't the entire opposition together in Maharashtra be on the streets continuously against this matter?
Ankit, the narrative about the alleged rigging in Maharashtra election, which took place last year, is probably happening for the first time on the national scale, but it has been a very consistent topic of the conversations here in Maharashtra, right after the election results on 23rd of November 2024. We saw several civic bodies and opposition political parties coming in forth and demanding for an action, by the legislator and, especially by the judiciary against the alleged rigging that, for which they are also provided certain points or certain pieces of evidence according to them. However, this entire movement of sorts process, which was expected to be carried on by their political workers, died down for a period of close to 5 to 6 months, and now we can see it getting resurrected. And in Maharashtra it is even more important because, well, on one hand, on a national perspective, Bihar election is right around the corner, but as far as Maharashtra is concerned, we also have a very important political activity which is going to take place in the next few months, and that is the civic polls happening after almost a decade here in the state, which is why people's trust into such kind of machinery and the awareness regarding the mechanism of the electoral activities across the state becomes a very important agenda point for the opposition parties. That is exactly what the opposition, especially led by the Congress party, seems to be doing right now. But as you said earlier, such kind of movement was initiated earlier as well. However, it did not receive a huge amount of success. So it'll be interesting to see what is different that the state unit of the Congress party does on the 12th of this month.
Prabhakar, how has this been received in Bihar as well? Because, there have been a lot of murmurs, as Anuj was saying. We saw how one village wanted to do the ballot voting because they believe that their mandate was not correctly captured, in Maharashtra, which was barred. So there has been murmurs about this. How has this charge of Rahul Gandhi been received in Bihar?
See, much before this article came, actually, Rahul Gandhi has been making similar noise in Bihar. And remember, in last 6 months, he has made 7 trips to Bihar, all hovering around the Dalit issues. And in most of the public speeches which he is giving here, he has been talking about the Maharashtra election. He has been talking about the possibility of the Bihar election being rigged in a similar fashion. Though this article has all the details about it, but Rahul Gandhi has been mentioning this in all his speeches in Bihar, and remember, he's making very frequent trips here. So this is nothing new as far as the Bihar politicians are concerned. They are hearing it from Rahul Gandhi himself when he's making a trip out here. Now remember, this government, the Nitish's government here, is here for last 20 years, and out of these 20 years, 2 years has been with Congress and with RJD. So they would certainly be making these allegations, but they had that period of 2 years where they could have actually gone into the details of it, checked the authenticity of the voter list which is being made, because Tejasvi Yadav was himself the deputy chief minister, and Congress was also part of the government out here for good 2 years.
Let me also bring in Prashant, our colleague who is joining us from the national capital. Prashant, Rahul Gandhi is doubling down on his charge against the BJP and, of course, the Election Commission. What are the political gains that the Congress party is hoping they would be able to achieve from this? Because now, of course, the big election is in Bihar. Maharashtra is done and dusted.
That's right, Ankit. After Rahul Gandhi published his article in many of today's newspapers, and after Election Commission's rebuttal, point-by-point rebuttal to Rahul Gandhi's accusations, we were just thinking that this might be over. But now Rahul Gandhi has once again posed 2 or 3 more questions to Election Commission. I think Rahul Gandhi is trying to send a message to his cadres also, especially just before the Bihar elections, that they should be ready for the election. But Rahul Gandhi raising these questions again and again, and Election Commission issuing rebuttals again and again, that is not sending a good signal. And Rahul Gandhi probably might be thinking in terms of his own politics, but many experts feel that this impasse between the main opposition party and the Election Commission does not augur well for the democracy.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me at this moment. Let me also bring in Mr. Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the BJP. Chitra Batham from the Congress party is also joining us at this moment. Aarti Jairaj, senior journalist, with us this evening as well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Let me start with you at this moment, Ms. Batham. The opposition, and of course, a lot of political analysts would say that you are singling out Maharashtra. You have the problem as far as Maharashtra is concerned. It once again goes back to the same argument. In the same set, you also won Jharkhand in the recently concluded election. You won Jammu and Kashmir as well. If you have zero faith in election commission or the way election commission is conducting the entire process, why not boycott? Why just take victory as victory and with defeat find these arguments?
Hello, Ankit, can you hear me?
I can, ma'am. Could you hear my question?
Yes, I did hear your question.
Please
It's
go
a
ahead.
very valid question, I believe. Yes, when we say and we single out Maharashtra elections, we have our own reasons for that. And because the elections or the way in which the elections are conducted in various other states as well, like Jharkhand you mentioned and Jammu and Kashmir during the same time, definitely it's not a generalized situation. So the situation that happened in Maharashtra, the same situation did not occur in Jharkhand. The same situation did not occur in Jammu and Kashmir. If there are any anomalies or whatever discrepancies are there, I am sure the opposition or the ruling party that lost over there definitely should come out with their own questions, and we would welcome that. But yes, there were anomalies over here. There were very, very, very shocking conclusions drawn out of the aftermath of Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha elections that completely shocked India to its core and Maharashtrian people to its respective core, and which is why, as you had mentioned, a village in called as Markatwadi, the villagers were trying to show on the ballot papers whom they have voted, but the government denied them their
Ma'am, may I
respective
ask,
fundamental rights as well.
ma'am, would you let me come in? Because you said that, it shook Maharashtra and people of India to the core. Before I go to my other guests, I don't remember covering or reporting on any mass level movement where people of Maharashtra came out on the streets and said, we do not accept the results of these elections. While you are saying that, we have our reasons, is the reason defeat of the Congress party is the reason enough to put questions on the election commission?
Well, had it been that case, then we would definitely have done a lot of things in the past as well. I am telling you over here, the way in which Rahul ji has indicated the stepwise electoral rigging of the entire system, that is very shocking. And I mentioned Markatwadi people were trying to show on ballot paper as to whom they have voted. Then why did the government stop them? Why there were 17 FIRs on those respective villages? Why did they try to...
Okay. Okay.
Hello?
Ma'am, I can hear you. Let me bring in Mr. Yadav at this moment to respond to this. It's very easy to brush and laugh and say, Rahul Gandhi is just saying whatever he is saying. But there are certain points which do, Mr. Yadav, need to be considered, or at least there needs to be wider discussion on what Rahul Gandhi has, tried to put forward in his editorial. While you may brush off, an election commission can say this can discourage people. What's the harm in being more transparent? Is the moot point of Rahul Gandhi's entire editorial, sir? What is the harm in being more transparent?
Ankit, neither I am laughing at what Rahul Gandhi is saying, neither I find it funny. I find it very serious. Moreover, I think the time is gone when Rahul Gandhi would find this a matter of serious concern. He is probably not understanding the gravity or the seriousness a leader of opposition should have, and leveling such charges time and again on institutions which build the backbone of this country without any basis shows the political maturity of Rahul Gandhi. Now, I will just raise 2-3 points. Point number one, if you have questions to ask from a particular, and I'm not even brushing aside that Congress party doesn't say anything in the states where they've won, and they only raise questions in the states they lose. But if you have questions there, writing editorials is not the forum. Talking it on TV debates is not the forum. Addressing it on public rallies is not the forum.
Why not?
Going to the election court, going to the election commission is the forum.
But why not?
How many times have you gone to the election court?
Hold on.
How many times have you gone to the election commission?
Hold on. Just one second.
I did not interrupt anybody.
Ms. Batham, he did not speak when you were speaking. You would please extend the same courtesy to the BJP spokesperson. I will ask the question, ma'am. I will come to you and I will give you the opportunity to respond to what he's saying. But Mr. Yadav, why not? Why shouldn't any editorial be written on it? What is the problem in writing an editorial if you have any doubts?
No, you must write an editorial, but you must also go to the election commission. When election commission invites you and gives you ample opportunities to come and raise whatever you were saying, they even do mock voting, they even do mock EVMs. They hand you out EVMs and they say what tampering can be done. You come and prove. You lose all opportunities. You never go to the election commission. You only go to television channels. You only go to public rallies because you have to have a scapegoat to
election commission. Let me quote you an example. Hold on. Let me quote you an example.
Please let me complete my point.
Sir, you made the basis of your argument. You are saying that they have not followed due process. They are only making noise around it. They are following narrative. That is exactly what you are saying. But let me quote you one thing. When and I'm quoting it from Rahul Gandhi's editorial itself, there are doubts in the people of mind, and of course these questions should be asked, will be asked when the High Court in Maharashtra, in Bombay High Court, directs the Election Commission to release the footage of the CCTV, of a polling station. Within few days, the government changes the rule and says that these footage cannot be seen. Election Commission comes out with an order. Then it does raise some questions on the timing as well. And what are you trying to hide?
Absolutely not, Ankit, and I do not believe so. The Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court has made it very categorically clear for all those who approach the Supreme Court, and they said that you cannot be raising questions only when you lose. That is the premise. That is the standard. No questions, no CCTV footage for Jammu and Kashmir, no CCTV footage for Jharkhand, nowhere. Point number 2, Congress party has polling agents at every polling station. Forget the CCTVs. At every polling station, you have polling agents. Whenever counting is happening, you have counting agents. Your polling agents, your counting agents do not raise anything. No questions asked, no objections raised, no letter given to the Election Commission. When Election Commission calls you, you don't go there. But you find it very convenient that you have to find a scapegoat for your loss.
Okay.
And you can't take all that blame on you.
Okay.
And then you make it so easy that you question the institutions of this country.
Sir, but you've not answered the question that I asked. You're right in what you are saying, but you've not answered the question that I asked. Aarti, let me bring you in at this moment. Does this bring down the credibility of the Election Commission? If there is a public discourse about the way Election Commission is functioning, is it immaturity of Rahul Gandhi? Is he being immature by not, realizing what the Election Commission repeatedly has answered to the queries which have been raised? Or is it a right of every citizen, including Mr. Gandhi, to raise questions even in their defeat?
Ankit, I'm not holding a brief for any political party or any political leader. But we were doing the Maharashtra elections results together with the day the results came. And I remember that all of us were pretty startled at the outcome. Some things just stood out so starkly. Sharad Pawar being reduced to 9 seats in his stronghold of Western Maharashtra. This has never happened to Sharad Pawar before, even at a time at his lowest point in his career, that he's won only 9 seats. So I think there were question marks that came up, even at the time the outcome was being released, the results were being released, and we were discussing it on television. Now, I think, Rahul Gandhi has raised a couple of points which need to be answered. And this has got nothing to do with polling agents in the booth and whether they, flagged it when they were in the booth. He is talking about the discrepancy between the provisional voter turnout figure and the final voter turnout figure. I have covered elections for more than 30 years, Ankit, more than 30 years. And I have always seen that there is, yes, a difference between the provisional turnout figure and the final turnout figure, but that difference is never more than 2%. In the case of Maharashtra, it is almost 8%. Now, I think that does raise questions. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not trying to, hold a brief here for anybody, but it does raise questions that how come it rose by 8%, something that has never been seen historically in Indian elections. And another point.
Right.
And another point. You're talking about the Congress raising this only when they lose. They have not talked about Haryana. They lost Haryana as well. But Rahul Gandhi's article does not mention Haryana. Rahul Gandhi's article is focused entirely on Maharashtra because it's not so much whether the BJP won or lost those elections. I think what is staggering is the scale of the of the victory. That is what has really shocked everybody because Sharad Pawar down to 9 seats in his stronghold is something.
But Aarti, but let me say this, Aarti, you're right. I mean, we were discussing this, but the fact also remains this is democracy. I mean, people have ensured that Indira Gandhi, who nobody thought could ever be defeated, was defeated in an election, and then of course everything else became history. So this country has propensity of springing up all these surprises. Should that be beyond? Should that be taken beyond the capacity of the voter in Maharashtra?
No, but I think that, Indira Gandhi losing an election was certainly a shock, and it happened. But at that time, there were no question marks that were being raised about the functionality of the Election Commission. I
Okay.
think in recent years, the Election Commission has come under scrutiny much, much more, and questions have been raised.
Okay.
And,
Aarti,
if you
I'm
notice,
sorry I'm interjecting
nobody's
here.
talking
There is a
about the
breaking news
integrity-
coming in. The
nobody's
Election
talking about
Commission.
the integrity of the EVMs.
Okay, just hold on for a second, Aarti. There is a breaking news coming in at this moment. The Election Commission war between Rahul Gandhi and the Election Commission has only escalated. Now, sources in the Election Commission saying that why is Rahul Gandhi not writing to the Election Commission? Why is he shying away from EC? He's only going to the media and writing a letter. Write a letter to the Election Commission if he wants a response, point by point response on the issues that he has raised. Same argument, of course, we heard at this moment that the BJP spokesperson also had raised. But let me very quickly go across to Ms. Batham to get a respond to her
I think
on
it's
this.
a 2-on-1 debate, so you would have to allow me an answer because it's a panel of 2-on-1. A 2-on-1. So
sir,
if you don't give me that opportunity to answer,
sir,
I don't
the
think
panel is
viewers will
the
get
panel
a-
is very fair. Aarti is holding brief for nobody. Hold on. Let's not get into this. Aarti, let's not cast aspersion on my neutral guest. Both of you are free to, in fact, go on and take a swipe at each other. But let me very quickly go across to Ms. Batham. Ms. Batham, the Election Commission is saying, why is Rahul Gandhi writing all this these things in the media if he has so much conviction in what he has in Maharashtra or his argument? Write a direct letter to Election Commission in his own personal capacity. He will get a response.
Well, Ankit, I must remind you and the BJP spokesperson over here that the Congress party as well as Rahul ji both have asked the Election Commission all these questions earlier, just after the assembly elections were over. I might remind you that there was
the question. The EC is saying, write to us. Don't go to media to ask these questions. Write to us. We will respond.
And we have written to the Election Commission multiple times. If you remember, the previous Election Commission answered us just in Shero Shairi.
Okay.
We've asked the same questions to him.
Siddharth, respond to what in fact Aarti ji had also said. I mean, there are anomalies which have been, and it's point by point. I mean, certain very important. If I read this, I found it's very interesting. Have been raised by Rahul Gandhi. Shouldn't the Election Commission come out and, in fact, answer all these things point by point? Why was the rule changed for the CCTV footage not to be shared? All those questions still remain.
Ankit, let me first please answer your neutral guest on the show. And let me remind few points that she has raised. We must not forget that we are a democracy. You can be startled with the results. You can be shocked with the results. But that's how a democracy works. You need to come out of your comfort zone. People were probably shocked that Congress party is now not winning. Doesn't even come in a 3-digit figure. 3 times in a row they have lost the central elections. You might be shocked that Sharad Pawar lost the elections. You might not have ever imagined in your life that a party like Congress party, people are going to hate that party and never elect them. They are not getting elected in a state where they get elected in, say, 10 years.
Use your words wisely, Mr. Yadav. You use your words wisely, Mr. Yadav.
Okay.
I object to the
Your objection is noted, ma'am. Your objection is noted.
I accept your objection. I change my words. Okay, I change
your objection
my words.
is noted. Siddharth, I'll request you and I'll require you to wrap it up very, very quickly because I'm completely out of time. Go ahead.
I will change the words. I will I repeat. I'll not repeat what I'm saying. But what I wish to say is that the Congress party and anybody has to understand that democracy is very mature. The people are very mature. Point number 1. You say that no questions were asked during Indira Gandhi's era. Have you forgotten the Raj Narayan case, the landmark case, the one leader who murdered democracy in this country, who imposed emergency, who never let elections happen? No questions were asked. Election commissioners were appointed to Rajya Sabha seats, and you say no questions were asked.
Does that justify the conduct of the election commission now? Then
it doesn't. Ankit, it doesn't. Okay. I'm answering what your neutral guest was saying. What your neutral guest was saying. I'm just answering that. Now, the only point that I make is whatever aspersions that Rahul Gandhi might have, and whenever people say, whenever people say that there are discrepancies with voter turnout, they have to understand there's a Form 17C. There are technicalities to everything. Go and fight it technically with the Election Commission. You want to go on with a rhetoric with media? You want to make a rhetoric? You want to, start a line that you're going to lose?
I'm completely out of time. I still, like I said, ma'am, I gave you the time. I gave him the time. I have given everybody equal time. The fact is, in a democracy, of course, the voters are mature and voters can startle anybody. Like the BJP was startled in the 2024 election, hoping for a 300 par, 400, and were reduced to 240. Similarly, in Maharashtra, the Congress party and its allies could also have been startled by the voter. That's their choice. But the fact remains, ladies and gentlemen, we are, after all, a democracy. Why should any question, whether in public domain or started or directed to any body, be something that we should brush under the carpet? It's a democracy. Why should any institution in a democracy, above question, above discussion? That is the only thought that I want to leave at this moment. Thank you so much to all my guests for joining me at this moment. News and updates will continue here on NDTV. Stay tuned.